Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Your video is about to start. I wanted to remind you of our newer Wednesday, 1 p.m. live stream Q&A on all things Social Security. Visitors are welcome to post a question in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer it. It's on a first come, first serve basis, so please get there on time. Otherwise, if you care to be a member and get some different kinds of perks, feel free to click the join button below or just click it to learn about them. Anyway, I hope to see you Wednesday. If not, enjoy the video. Bye now. Good morning. Just wanted to touch on a difficulty that exists if you are going to be living abroad while you are making a claim for Social Security disability. It can be tough. The biggest issue, well, if you're treating abroad, even if your legal address is here, but you're spending a lot of time abroad, so that's where your treatment is, don't be surprised if you're going to have to do the legwork to get your own medical records. Because a lot of the time, some of these foreign areas, certainly they don't have HIPAA laws like we do. They're not subjected to our laws. And they might, they might be of the ilk to not obey a request for medical records. So it might be where you have to go and find out what they want from you in order to give you your medical records or have them sent someplace else. Every country is going to be different. In this country, we have not only mandatory access to our medical records, and the provider has to provide them generally within 30 days of the request, but we also have limitations on the costs that they can charge you. Now, that varies state to state if they're going by the state rules. But if there's a federal rule, this is for in the United States, that preempts that, such as HIPAA's access, which also includes a fee cap if you are ordering them and asking that they don't send it to you in ink and paper and mail and all that. And they're just going to, if you ask for it in high-tech version, meaning fax, email, download, purely digital, they can't charge you what they could otherwise charge you. I don't know about every other country on the earth. So, you have to kind of do a lot more of that legwork yourself because you are there. So when you go to your doctor's office or your therapist's office in a foreign land, you're going to have to figure out what they need and get those. And you might have to do it repeatedly. You're certainly going to want to do it the first time. And again, that's assuming SSA doesn't get them. And I find that they by and large don't. And then if we send our typical United States HIPAA form and we use the high-tech version, or my clients do, I should say, those often won't suffice either because that's US law. So you have to be willing to do that extra legwork. If you have an attorney, get them the records. Maybe they'll want you to get them every 3 months. That's probably what I would want. That's assuming you're diligently going. So it's not like you're going to the doctor once every 6 months, in which case you'll probably lose your case. So just keep that in mind. I know people, for many good reasons, move abroad. Sometimes it's the affordability factor when they're running low on money because they're disabled and they can't work a full-time job or even a very strong part-time job. And they need to survive on whatever savings they have until they can get their Social Security disability. And then, of course, oftentimes they're going to want to stay living abroad because their Social Security disability, which will eventually be their Social Security retirement, lasts and goes a lot further, right? Because the standard of living might be less, but so are the costs. So all that to be considered, just know that you're going to have to do a little bit of extra things to make sure the evidence gets here. And we can do the work with the evidence once we have it, but we can't fly down there and beat someone over the head to give your medical record. So you're going to have to do all that. We don't have the U.S. Office of Civil Rights to back us up in any shape or form, nor any state medical associations that do the medical licensing or could otherwise give a little reprimand to a licensed medical professional for not providing records. We don't have that down there or over there or up there outside of the country. Okay. I hope that clears it up. And just for a little more clarity on what I was talking about with the high-tech HIPAA rules in the United States, I will attach that video because it is something that everyone needs to know when you're trying to get your records in the United States. You have a lot of rights and they do get sometimes yanked about by a medical provider. But the medical providers, I think, particularly the ones that are not mom and pops, tend to be really on, in the know now of what the law is. By the way, separate from the portal. You have, some places have their portal, but you getting your official set is a slightly different set than what's going to be showing up in your portal. So when you want the official set and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, there is federal laws that cover the entire country, every single state. So if your medical doctor or the office or the receptionist or the office manager, God forbid, who, fancies themselves HIPAA specialists when they really have no clue. If they say, we're going to charge you $150 for your records and you want them by fax or email, they really can't do that. I mean, they can, but it's a violation. And I would suggest reporting them to the Office of Civil Rights. It takes about 3 minutes. There's an online format for that. And the more they're held accountable, I think they'll start getting up to speed and behaving with decency instead of being money grubbers on medical records, when the way they're supposed to be earning their money is through treatment of you, not, charging you 10 times the value of your own records, in my opinion. Okay, so I will attach that HIPAA video. I think I'm going to try to anyway. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye now. Hey, so if the subject matter of the video you just listened to is of interest and you want more on it, stay tuned. Here's another one about the same topic, but a little bit different. Bye now. Good morning. Good to see you again. Okay, I had a great question from a viewer regarding SSI and traveling. Some people say, you're not allowed to travel. Well, really, you could do whatever you want. It's just that if you don't meet the criteria for SSI for a particular month, you are going to not get it for that month. Okay, so what is it? You can travel. I mean, it's not unheard of for an SSI recipient to be gifted airfare to go visit family in another country or to go on vacation. All fine and good. The problem is if you are staying out of the country for longer than generally 30 days, but also a full calendar month, either one, you're going to become ineligible for your SSI. And yes, when you come back in, you will be eligible again, but you have to be back in a nutshell, for 30 days before you become eligible again to receive that SSI. You don't have to prove that you're disabled all over again. So it's a suspension. It's not a cancellation. There's also a residency requirement, right? So you can't be residing in another country and then expect to collect SSI from the taxpayers here, right? And I think that's part of the presence requirement, which is different from the residency requirement, is that, again, it's a needs-based program. And can you imagine if the United States were providing the needs for people who chose to live over there? It would just not be appropriate. The taxpayers working here are paying for it. So it makes sense. And again, 30 days is quite a while. I mean, I've never had a 30-day vacation in my entire life. So I'm thinking, you could go for 3 weeks, come back and go back. That shouldn't be a problem. It's once you hit 30 days consecutive that you're going to be running into once it catches up with you, if you're not truthful about it to the SSA. And I would be, because you're going to eventually potentially get nailed for an overpayment. And if it's willful, that could be a fraud charge. So I would just be super careful and let them know that if you're going to choose to go out for 6 weeks, then you choose to go out for 6 weeks. I think you can tailor it where you just go for 3.5 weeks. Then you don't have to worry about it. That sounds like fun. You can do that all year round if someone's paying for it. Right? Anyway, that's it, guys. You could definitely travel. You just have that 30-day limit. And yes, it will be reinstated again. You just have to communicate and keep track of your days, keep your tickets, show when you got back in the country, when you left, and you should be fine. All righty. Have fun on your travels if that's what you do. Have a good one. Bye.